Hi, this is Doug Blake. I wanted to talk today about one of my favorite flooring systems. I've talked about this before on previous posts, but I want to bring it up again, and that's really thick, heavy-duty trowel epoxy mortar floors. One of my favorite sayings, a friend of mine, owner of one of our excellent vendors, coined the phrase, at least to me, that really the business we're in is the glue and rocks business. And by that, really what we're talking about is really what is it in an epoxy mortar floor. Here's an up close of a 1/4 inch trowel epoxy mortar floor. You can see how dense this system is, but really, what's it made of? Why is this a good choice for your facility? Well, if your floors are beat up, you have very heavy traffic, lots of impact, or you just want to do the floor once and not think about it again for years and years and years, outside of just keeping the floor clean and maybe putting in a new top coat, then think glue and rocks. Glue and rocks being epoxy resin as a binder, essentially the glue, and then the aggregate blends, all these different sizes of sand that are in the mix, that's the rocks part. And so that's what really we do when we go down and we put these heavy duty mortar floors down. We're putting glue and rocks down. So the questions are, what is this comprised of? Well, all these different sizes of aggregate that mesh together and condense down. But then a very important aspect of what these floors are as far as their durability is how much glue is holding the rocks together. And these are really technical little things that most people don't think about. They think mortar floors, a mortar floor is a mortar floor. Who's got a better price? Who knows how to do this better? But it's important to understand the makeup of these because the ratios on how much glue and how much rocks is really a big factor in how well this floor is going to perform for you in the long term. The standard floors that we install are approximately 8 parts aggregate to 1 part resin. But, very easily in the field, someone could throw in more aggregate, more sand. It's going to do 2 things. It'll make the floor work a little better as you're installing it, but you're losing durability because the wetter it gets, the stickier it gets. So finding that right balance, but certainly, and I'm not saying that people do, but it's been rumored that people, if they're in tight on a budget, add another bag of sand to every batch. No one will notice. And the fact is, people won't notice with the finished result. However, 10 years down the line, lots of traffic, lots of impact, the amount of glue and the amount of rocks not being in the right ratio will greatly influence how this floor is going to perform as the floor starts to break down. And I've seen personally floors where essentially somebody cheated and the floor had barely enough glue to hold the aggregate or the rocks together. So when you're investigating or investing in a new heavy-duty trowel epoxy mortar floor, make sure you ask the questions about the ratios. How much aggregate? How much liquid? There are more resin-rich systems which cost a little more that are 5 parts aggregate to 1 part resin. So there's a lot more glue, if you will. And if you want maximum durability, maybe investigate one of these more resin-rich type systems. But in any event, again, trowel floors are just, super high performing floors. And I just wanted to dig in a little bit about what goes on the technical side in the mix ratios and how these floors, how that equates to how these floors perform in the long run. So I look forward to your comments and I look forward to my next post. Thank you.